This is Mohammed for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. All the way from New Zealand, we have former heavyweight world champion Joseph Parker and a legend of the sport in David Higgins. How are we doing, guys? Joseph?
Hello. Doing very good here. Currently in training camp, preparing for the fight end of February, 27th of February with Junior Far. So everything is, we're quite blessed here in New Zealand where we still have freedom to go out and meet our friends and family, go to the gym. And so we're, like I said, we're pretty blessed and everything's good here.
David, how about yourself?
Oh, look, I started back at work on Monday. Having lived in Europe, I know the Christmas break's quite quick, but in New Zealand, it's our holiday time. So I tried to have a break and back into it full on now. So the rescheduled date for Parker Farr is only about a month away now. So it's all on ramping up the promotion again.
Sounds like you're having a good time over there. You get a longer Christmas break. You've got fans back in for your fight. We're in full lockdown in the UK. We can't go and see anyone. It's a bit of a nightmare over here. So you're in the right side of the world. Let's talk about with your upcoming fight with Junior Far on Feb 27th. Joseph, this is a fight that people might overlook in the rest of the world, but I'm sure in New Zealand, people are really hyped for this fight and they know how tough a test that Far is for yourself. Is that fair?
Yeah, it's like you said, maybe around the world it's not really capturing the attention because probably people don't really know about Junior Far. But here in New Zealand, I think it's a big deal, and it's great to have two New Zealanders with Pacific background, both ranked in the top 10 in the world, having a big fight here in New Zealand. And it's for us and our team, Team Parker, it's a fight that we must win. In order for us to get back to the top and fighting the top opponents and fighting for the world title again, it's a must win for us.
Of course, you're third in the WBO, and I think Far's around 7th or 8th. There's a lot on the line for him, so he's going to be coming with everything, Junior Far. And of course, it's a rivalry.
He'll be coming with everything. I think I've seen recently that he's gone up to a number 5, which is the highest he's been ranked in any sanctioning body. So he'll be coming, with the experience of his team, and he'll be well prepared. But I know what I have to do, and I know that I'm going to take him out February 27th.
From what it sounds like, everything in New Zealand seems pretty okay at the moment. So I'm sure getting this event on wasn't too much of a hassle. Well,
it is boxing, so there's always those uncertainties. Injuries can happen. You can't insure. And so it's frustrating. But, we've been through ups and downs. And so you just have to be philosophical and continue. I have to say, I do feel for the fans out there in the United Kingdom, Europe, the United States. Watching the news here, it's scary. And in New Zealand, it's like paradise. There are no restrictions, no lockdown, no COVID cases in the community. And so it's kind of normal-ish, other than international travel not being allowed, etc. But then, if you watch the news each night, you get an appreciation for what people are going through in other parts of the world. So, we don't take that for granted. We're grateful that we have an opportunity to put on a heavyweight fight of 2 top 10 ranked boxers in front of a full sold-out arena. And so really, both guys are fit now and both have had minor surgeries. And so we're kind of happy because it means they can both meet at full fitness. There'll be no excuses on the night.
Joseph, it might turn around this situation. You always used to come to the UK for big fights. If this carries on, I think all our heavyweights are going to have to come to either New Zealand or Australia.
After we have this fight with Junior Far in February 27th, there might be a possibility in bringing fighters down from the UK. It can be a big possibility, but we just have to we have to take care of this fight, get it done the right way, and then hopefully we can bring some big names down here because we're keen to fight, everyone and anyone.
What do you think about this fight coming up with Junior Far? Obviously, we've heard from Joseph, it's no walkover. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, look, I think the pressure's on Joseph Parker more so because he is the favourite. He's fought on the biggest stage against better opposition, being a former world champion. And so he is the favourite. And Junior, being the underdog, has nothing to lose. And then, Junior's bigger, he's taller, he's got longer reach. As an amateur, He's won a couple, but there's a debate around who won. But he's got that. I guess psychologically, he feels like he might have had a victory there, and he's on paper he's unbeaten. So he's not without attributes, and anything can happen in boxing. You know, you let your guard down, pride comes before the fall. You would bust Douglas, Tyson, whatever. And so Joseph knows that, I believe, and is taking it as seriously as any opponent. And so I'm hoping we get an emphatic victory by stoppage, and then we'll be calling out those British fighters to leave their home turf. They rarely do. The British guys, they don't really like. I mean, imagine Joseph being in his shoes, having to go across the world all the time for training camps and fighting in other people's backyards all the time. It would be nice to turn the tables and have Dillian White or Dereck Chisora come down here to Auckland, New Zealand and fight us in our own backyard. And if the world continues the way it is, there might be no excuses anymore. You know, satellite TV, we can pay-per-view back to the UK from here in New Zealand. The money's going to be more than fighting in front of no crowd up there. And so there's no excuses. So it'll be interesting to see if any of them are willing to step up and make the trip down here. We'll look after them well. You know, opponents down there say it's the best they've ever been looked after. We don't treat them poorly. It's like a holiday camp, and they can run their camp here. They'll be treated with respect until they're in the ring, and then it's all on.
Okay, that sounds. Listen, it might be a genuine possibility the way things are going. Joseph, I will ask you about your place in the WBO and who's above you. Of course, Alexander sits at the top, and Joe-Joyce is number 2. I'm sure you're looking at that for later this year. Obviously, you're focused on Junior FAR. But Frank Warren told me the other day that it looks like the WBO will order Usyk v Joyce for the interim title, and then you're right in shot if you come through far.
Yeah, the like you say, the first thing I have to take care of is FAR, and all my focus is on that, and my attention is on that. But there is a bit of me just looking ahead and seeing who's in front of me. You know, you got the likes of Usyk, got Joe-Joyce, and then there's like David mentioned, there's fights out there that, you know, if we get through this one, like Dillian White, Chisora, there's other names that we do really want to fight.
Of course, Dereck Chisora suffered another loss recently to Alexander Usyk, but that is a fight that you're still open to, yeah, Joseph?
Yeah, I feel like it's unfinished business. I feel like it's one of those fights where, you know, I was forced to, you know, from a doctor to pull out of the fight, health issues. But I think it's a fight that can still happen. I know I can beat him.
Okay. David, I'm sure, yeah, your focus has been getting this event on as well. But now that's secured and we've got a date, etc., and Joseph's working towards that date. What's been your discussions with Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, about the future for Joseph this year?
Well, I openly, I had a phone call with Frank Smith the other day, and we did discuss the future, and obviously everyone's focused on February 27, Parker Farr, but I did say, look, everything going to plan, would you look at New Zealand potentially hosting some big events, some big name opponents down here in front of a full crowd, sort of like, I guess, UFC are doing with Fight Island. And they did not rule. They said, yes, you know, let's see what happens. But if that makes sense, then absolutely, let's talk. I mean, one good thing is we've had a very good partnership with Matchroom. We worked together in a joint venture on the Joshua Parker fight. Huge event, huge amount of money, very complex. And our two teams got on really well and trusted each other, and then repeated that for Dillian White. And then again here. So I think Matchroom will probably see us as a viable partner down here in New Zealand, this part of the world. And so then it just becomes about the numbers, the economics of it, what makes sense. And so there's a, you know, depending on what happens, there's a real possibility of turning the tables and running stuff down here. But that being said, if the big opportunity comes up in the UK, we'd happily quarantine up there. Is that right, Joseph?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. If an opportunity came, first take you over Junior FAR, and if an opportunity came from the UK or wherever it is, we'll fly anywhere to fight.
Okay, that sounds good. What do you think about the potential matchup, which is likely to happen between Alexander Usyk and Joe-Joyce?
I'm not quite sure now. David, what are your thoughts?
I think Joyce was impressive against Dubois, and Dubois was kind of untested to, you know, at that pedigree, and Joyce did what he had to do. That being said, I'd probably lean towards Usyk being a bit too slick, maybe, on if he brought his A game. But you never know. That would be a very interesting matchup. I reckon we should have that shot, though. You know, on paper, I think Joseph's done more to earn the shot against Usyk. I mean, respect to Joe Joyce and what he did, but if you look at Joseph's resume with victories against Carlos Takam, Andy Ruiz, taking Anthony Joshua the distance, getting robbed by Dillian White, but nearly knocking him out at the end. Add all that up, and then the number 2 ranking and the busyness. It's interesting that Joyce went to number 2, and I think our credentials stack up a bit better, but we're not going to complain. We'll fight Joyce, we'll fight Usyk, whoever. I think. Well, am I right?
Oh yeah, anyone.
Talking about anyone and other names, I don't know if you saw just before the end of the year, Deontay Wilder's video. He released a few videos, but there was a certain video where he listed a name of opponents, and Joseph Parker was one of them. Were you surprised by that?
Yeah, I wasn't sure that I was on his list, but it just shows that that's another big fight that can happen, and it's another big fight for us. Like when we get through Junior 5, then there's a lot of possibilities and a lot of options.
Well, it looks like he's set to box Charles Martin. What do you think about that as his return fight?
Yeah, I mean, Charles Martin was the world champ, and I guess he has to have a fight to he hasn't been in the ring for a long time, right? Since he hasn't been in the ring for, and he has to come back and, hopefully he looks good against Charles Martin and makes another statement to make a name for himself again as someone who's, people has to be serious about.
Yeah, he's after wearing that costume and then saying the heavy costume cost him the fight. It's earning credibility back is going to be important, I think.
How's Kevin, Joseph? How's he doing?
Kevin is good. The whole team is good here. Training is going very well. We started sparring. The only thing with New Zealand, it's quite hard to find sparring partners, but we've been able to find a few that are very, very helpful within our camp. And we think they're going to give us some good work. But Kevin is good. He's happy. He's been away from home for a while, but it's part of what we do.
What do you think we'll see from yourself in the ring on Feb 27th? Are we going to see a bit of a different Joseph Parker, you feel, over that time you've had to work since you've been out the ring?
I feel so. I feel like it's going to be, you can say whatever you want to say. And, but for me, winning fights on points, it's good to get a win, but points, it's not exciting. It's not attractive, and people it's not really interesting. So I want to go out there. My goal is to throw a lot of punches and, throw combinations, because when I do, I can really hurt someone.
Okay. Well, listen, tune into the Zone here in the UK or across the world. We look forward to your return to the ring, Mr. Joseph Parker. Before we go, is there anything you'd like to add? I'll come to you first, Joe.
Only thing is, people in the UK and the US and around the world, prayers that everything settles down, and hopefully everyone keeps safe through these hard times. And then, we look forward to catching up with everyone and visiting again when we can.
Definitely. We miss you, Joseph, but I wouldn't recommend coming to the UK right now. Give it some time. David, what about yourself?
I think after probably more than a year or about a year of not traveling, I'm actually missing the Manchester winter. And we look forward to visiting the UK again. We always love it there, and the rest of the world. So hopefully the vaccines work and this is all put behind us this year.
Well, I know Bob Arum's having his vaccine this week, so he should be okay.
I tell you what, if I was him, I wouldn't be going out much, because he's right in that risk category in the age group wise. So massive credit to him for still running his business the way he does at his age. It's an inspiration, but damn, I'd be taking every precaution if I was the godfather, Bob Arum.
Will you be working in boxing at 89, David?
I'll be happy if I'm alive at 89.
On that note, Joseph Parker, best of luck on Feb 27th. We'll be watching live on DAZN. David Higgins, thank you very much for your time as well, and we'll catch up soon. All right, take care, guys.
Thanks, Uma. Thank you. Bye, Phil. Thank you.